Hey folks, it's KJ Collelo from A Vibe Too Many Entertainment. Actually here in the Vibe Too Many editing bay trying to get this episode out on Friday on time. Real quick though, before the episode starts, I just wanted to shout out my good friend Ydelis Avila. Her documentary, A Love Letter to My Curls, is actually coming out today, Friday, April 17th, the day you're hopefully watching this at 11 a.m. If it's past 11 a.m., go watch it. If it's before 11 a.m., just, hang out for a minute, you know? What's so wrong with us? Anyway, enjoy the episode. We talk about some fun things. We make some fun goofs. And then enjoy Ydelis' documentary. It's the first big release we've done since A Spoonful of Murder. I look forward to it, and I look forward to seeing you all there. It's going to be a vibe. Good evening, brothers, sisters, and siblings, and welcome back to A Vibe Too Many podcast. I, of course, am always your host, KJ Collelo, joined always by
Ashton Byrne. Hello.
And we're back from a second episode. We didn't get canceled after one episode, which is always good to hear.
The show must go on.
Well, today, a little later on, we're going to talk about some Mummy movies in honor of Lee Cronin's new Mummy movie coming out today, the day we upload this. We decided we should talk about the Mummy today, go on a little bit of a journey.
Oxen almond.
Careful.
I need you. I miss you.
But yeah,
I need you in my life. Come back to life.
Yeah, that's what. Why did Emo Hotep cause the plagues? He should have just recorded a soul album. He was just like, you get a heart attack when that motherfucker should have been in the booth.
He should have. That would have brought her back to life.
Just a smooth enough R&B record.
Yeah, where he is really confessional and vulnerable about his feelings.
Like John Legend style. Before we get too off track, we actually have something from last week we gotta touch up on.
Yes.
Something, a pledge I made. So last week, in honor of Creed and its anime and shit, and the fact it was our first episode back, I decided, I made a pledge to Ashton and the viewers, I think I put it in the video, I really hope I did, that I would buy some manga, or one manga.
Which one did you buy?
Well, I was gonna see, do you think you can guess? It's a popular one.
It's a popular one.
Yeah.
Is it a horror one?
No.
If it's not horror, and it's popular,
yeah,
I feel like you bought One Punch Man.
I did think about One Punch Man because that's one of the ones I actually want to watch. But I got Full Metal Alchemist.
Oh my god! My god!
My day job, my boss said it was his favorite. We were discussing this over the entire week at work because I work with a bunch of anime freaks. I mean that lovingly. And so shout out to you, Ryan.
I'm so excited. Full Metal Alchemist, it wasn't my first manga I've ever read. That was Soul Eater. But Full Metal Alchemist was, the first manga I read, the whole way through. I read that, religiously. I lived and breathed, Full Metal Alchemist.
So, yeah, that's my manga update. With that, with the manga update out of the way, how about we start our journey into ancient Egypt with 1932's Universal horror, The Mummy. And I talked about this with Ashton. I talk about this a lot. I love Universal horror movies, and I think Ashton's going to agree with me with what I'm going to say here. I think this is the weakest one, though.
I would agree. I feel like these movies they love Orientalism. They're like, we love the other. Woohoo!
As long as they stay the other.
Crazy. Huh?
As long as they stay the other, though.
Yes, they have to stay.
Because there's also the poorly named Nubian in this one.
He's like, oh, you're Nubian, so I can mind control you.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, no, it's insane. character's name is the Nubian. He's not given an actual name. That's the actor Noble Johnson.
Oh my god.
Who is like a legend in of his own right, but he was kind of had to deal with being that character over and over again. Like he's the native chief in King Kong and stuff like that. He's in The Most Dangerous Game. Like he's an icon, but he's an icon I wish got to like do cooler shit. But so like generally, again, I think we're pretty like locked in on this together. But what were your thoughts on The Mummy as compared to like your knowledge of other Universal horror?
I mean, I think Boris Karloff is like iconic in this, but I feel like the horror kind of relies on like the fact that he's, and I'm going to use brain rot terms again for this, he kind of like aura farms the whole movie. He's just aura farming, and it's not really, the Mummy's not fucking scary, I'm not gonna lie. He's
this
not
one,
scary.
No. Yeah, it's not that frightening.
I mean, like when that first scene, he's in the museum, the security guard sees him trying to like revive Ox and Amun, or he's trying to like channel like brainwash Helen because she's also part Egyptian blood. The magic only fucking works on people if they're like Egyptian.
That's pretty crazy, by the way, that they're just like, you know,
yeah, magic eugenics essentially.
Magic eugenics. It turns out magic is real in this world, and it's racist.
It's very racist.
They got racist magic.
Racist.
Now we fucking know where J.K. Rowling gets it.
The scene where it's this movie artist bay. He's mind controlling Helen. And the security guard shines a light on him. And he turns around like a child whose mom caught him watching porn.
I've given that exact look. Not because of that. I started saying the sentence before you finished. But yeah, I've given that exact look before in my life.
And then he just skirts away. And he grabs his stuff and he skirts away.
He's like a nerdy kid playing card games on the floor, and the jock walks in. He's like, I gotta get out of here. He's playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And he's like, oh,
he just strangles people. It's not scary.
He strangles them and he gives them like ominous heart attacks.
And I'm 5'7" and like 110 pounds. I could fight back against this mummy.
He gives Papa Wemple a heart attack. By the way, the characters' names are Wemple in this.
He does.
That's a choice.
Wemple.
And then
he's kind of like
he wants to give younger Wemple a heart attack, but he grabs a necklace first. This movie's not great.
I wrote in my notes, he's kind of just like a less cool Nosferatu.
Yeah, this movie's kind of just Dracula.
Pretty much, yeah. But like with a heavy Orientalism.
Yeah. Like even down to the cast. It was Universal Horror, so they were kind of using the same cast over and over again, which is why you see, like, before we were recording, I was talking to Ashton about the actor Dwight Fry, who's in Dracula and Frankenstein and pops up in The Invisible Man. It's because he just worked for Universal, so it makes sense they would. Edward Van Sloan plays Dr. Mueller in this. He's also in Frankenstein and Dracula. He is Van Helsing in the original Dracula movie, and actually in sequels. Wow. So, like, he's played this character, basically, before. And then, of course, someone I really want to talk about, playing the lead here, a character so memorable I remember the character's name. He also played Jonathan Harker in Dracula. David Manners, I think, is, like, the fucking worst actor of all time. I try to keep things positive on the show, I really do. I believe you can look at every artistic endeavor. We're going to say some great things about The Mummy, even though we didn't love it. But holy shit, this man is a block of wood in everything he does. He sucks in this. He sucks in Dracula. I mean, Jonathan Harker is an incredibly boring character in Dracula. Like, nobody was actually good as Jonathan Harker. And he is so goddamn boring in everything. I hate David Manners. The second I saw he was in this, I was like, oh, there's a big fucking nothing. He has a romance with Zeta Jones's character. Zeta Johnson, not Zeta Jones. And there's just no fucking chemistry there. Just none.
He just kind of looks at her, he's like, I love you. You're coming with me.
And even then, his dialogue is like, let's fuck. And, like, to her credit,
I'm
she
kind
seems
of
into
rooting
it.
for the mummy in this, because he's so boring and unlikable.
And then, like, when you get to the mummy, it's like this forbidden love thing. And look,
yes.
Do we want to talk about Boris Karloff now?
Yeah, let's do a 180. Boris Karloff is incredible in this. They rely so much on the fact that he's just fucking cool. He just looks cool.
Boris Karloff is one of my favorite actors.
And he's just such a good actor.
Of all time.
He kind of
know how much I love Boris Karloff? So, I go to a lot of, like, horror conventions and stuff. And, obviously, the old Universal get a lot of love there because they're the classics. So, I remember who painted this one. This is a guy named Nick Jackson. Cintradici. He is awesome. Go check him out. I got this from him. Look at that. Look how beautiful that is. He is a ball. I have so much of his work. I have his book in my house. He is just fucking salt of the earth. Great dude. Always willing. If you're ever at a convention with this guy, he is always so down just to, like, talk to you and hang out. But also, fuck, I cannot remember the vendor I got this from, so I apologize. Although, last week I wore his shirt. The God Slay the Queen shirt is from the same artist. I got mummy representation, too. Look at that. That's also super cool. So, like...
oh my god, the details, they get his wrinkles down.
Look at the ring, too, looks super cool. Like,
it is. I like the contrast.
Boris Karloff in the 100 years...
The makeup effects on him is really cool, even though it is just kind of Boris Karloff.
In the 100 years of like, really, like, film, Boris Karloff is one of my, like, 5 to 10 favorite actors.
He's half of the reason why I even, like, had any enjoyment of this movie. He really makes... he steals this whole fucking show. Like, he's putting belt to ass every time he's on fucking screen.
You almost, whenever he's not on screen, and this movie is only, like, an hour and 13 minutes, and you spend... it feels longer. But, like, whenever he's not on screen, you're almost waiting for him to get back on screen.
Honestly, he's half of the reason why I'm kind of rooting for the mummy in this movie. That and the fact that David Manner's character is... they mentioned several times that they work for the fucking British Museum, so of fucking course I'm not rooting for them. And also, I know what they were doing in, like, when they first started excavating, like, Egyptian, like, tombs, they were using mummies as fucking paint. Of course I'm gonna root for the mummy. I'm not gonna root for, like, the fucking archaeologists that are gonna turn them into corpse paint so they can paint, like, stupid, like, fucking paintings or whatever.
And I think, like, also, you know, you have, like, Boris Karloff's natural charm kind of leads you to want to root for him more. Like, in Frankenstein, too, you just straight up root for the creature. But I think the other thing with it is, too, is Imhotep kind of has, like, this really beautiful story about, like, lost love and reincarnation and stuff. And so really until the very ending, you're kind of on his side, and then he's like, oh, I'm gonna mummify you, which just kind of seems like a writing choice where it's like, oh shit, we forgot to make this guy evil.
Yeah, it's like, we don't want you to like him too much.
He was just giving old British dudes heart attacks. Like, that's kind of tight, actually.
Oh, people who work for the British Museum? I think they should have heart attacks.
Yeah, like, I'm not that upset. He's got this tragic story, and then you have Boris Karloff's general fucking charm and everything there. I mean, when he comes on screen as Artist Bay...
they have so many shots that are just his face.
Yeah.
And it works.
He had such a striking face. And, fun fact, that man languished for like a decade in obscurity. And then in 1931, he did Frankenstein. And that movie was so successful that in 1932, when The Mummy came out, the marketing was Boris Karloff in The Mummy. Like, it switched on a dime like that. And you can see why you want to watch this man on screen.
He has such an incredible presence. The Mummy's not scary. He does have an intimidating presence where it's not off-putting, it's very captivating. And it works because Boris Karloff is just kind of like that. He's just such like a captivating, charming man that anytime he's on screen, everything just goes, all the attention goes to him.
He's not even that, like, he looks so big in this and in Frankenstein. He was only like 5'10", 5'11", rather thin guy, but they just put him in boots. Like, credit to Universal Horror Special Effects of just being like, put this motherfucker in boots so he looks tall. And then you look at that and you're like, yeah, that's a tall guy. The question I wrote about Karloff was, is he the greatest horror movie actor of all time?
At the very least, he's up there.
He's definitely, he might be the most influential.
Yes, I was about to say, because he's kind of like, in these ones, he's kind of the blueprint.
Yeah. I have a whole bit on that later. There's my phone going off. I should really turn the ringer off. Would we have a
Robert Englund or a... I'm so sorry, I forget the name of the Chucky actor.
Brad Dourif.
I love him, though. Would we have any of those, like, an actor you associate... Or, like, I like, Bill Moseley. He's great. I love Bill Moseley so much.
But yeah, when you look at, like...
He's also another one where he kind of, like... His presence is so, like...
Yeah.
Just captivating.
Shout out to Chop Top.
But I don't think we'd have this without
especially when you look
Boris
at
Karloff.
Like the monster actors. And I don't mean that in terms of like creature features. I do mean that in like Robert Englund is a fucking great pull for that one because he, you know, we know him for Freddy Krueger. Would you get a Freddy Krueger like where you know the actor if you didn't have a Boris Karloff doing the Mummy? Would you get a Bill Moseley, like these genre character actors? You know, we can name fucking Kane Hodder here. Because he played Jason Voorhees in bad movies. He's a great Jason Voorhees, though. He's my favorite Jason. And yeah, I think all of this comes from Karloff. And then even, like, earlier generations, if I'm to name, like, the greatest horror movie actors of all time, I'd go with Dwight Frye, who's a contemporary of Boris Karloff, but Boris Karloff was getting those lead roles. You look at someone like Vincent Price, who is maybe the most impactful actor in my life, because I grew up a huge Vincent Price fan. I don't know that really comes without some of the groundwork that Karloff laid. You look at someone like Christopher Lee, who's a fucking brilliant actor, an absolute icon. A whole lot of his early career was doing Hammer horror versions of Boris Karloff movies. Christopher Lee played Frankenstein. He played the Mummy, you know? He made horror movies kind of pop culture, you know?
Yes.
Like,
yes, he did.
Horror movies were the weird satanic thing other people were doing. And then because of, you know, Karloff, and all of this also extends to, like, someone like Bela Lugosi as well. I 100% give him credit in that, too. They made horror movies, like, profitable and something you would want to go see and not just that weird-ass backwards corner. And they actually kind of suffered from it because not long after that, we started getting the Hays Code and everything. Horror movies started to get shifted out due to the religious right. People like Basil Radforth were able to, you know, recover. David Manners was able to recover from that. Someone like Boris Karloff never really did. Do you know what he was doing when he wasn't doing horror movies? There was two big things he did. Boris Karloff was really into children's literature.
That is adorable.
Becoming an expert in children's fairy tales, and even going on to narrate How the Grinch Stole Christmas. That's Boris Karloff doing the voice there. And the singing voice is a different actor named Thurl Ravencroft doing a Boris Karloff impression, and he helped invent the Screen Actors Union. He was card holder number 9. Like he was
and he's pro union. That's
Boris
awesome.
Karloff is one of the coolest human beings on the planet. There's a great story from his time doing Frankenstein when everyone was worried that the little girl, they were really afraid that she wouldn't be able to see him because he's in all this makeup and she would be afraid. She would fucking run up to him and hug him and everything. And when they would, like, in full makeup, they actually had trouble filming it because she loved him so much. And she would always be like, "Can I ride with you, Mr. Karloff?" And he was like, "Yeah, come on." Like, Boris Karloff was a well-known nice guy. The one thing in this movie that I think is fucking brilliant, and that's that opening scene, I think is just a great horror short.
Yes.
That's such a good opening. Like, seeing him just slowly reveal him, and then he just opens his eyes. Everything is slow
eye.
And deliberate, and you never really get a good look at him. Besides that one shot where they're like
with the bandages on the ground.
The shot here, and then you see the bandages when he's walked out. You see how just looking upon him can drive someone mad like that. It's such a good horror short film that it kind of, I think, made the rest of the movie more disappointing to me.
Because it's like, why can't the rest of the movie be like this?
Yeah, because it's fucking awesome.
They're going between Papa Wemple and then the guy who goes crazy. It's going between them and them, like these two places where they're talking about the mummy, and then he's with the mummy, and you see the mummies acting weird, and it's going between there and building tension, but it doesn't feel, you don't feel like you're bouncing around too much.
No, it keeps everything like
really like perfect pacing.
Like, this is honestly something I would be like, if I was to teach a film class, I'd be like, this is the ideal horror short film.
It is.
The
also
problem is there's
general,
then an hour after the movie.
It's also a perfect way to like open a movie where you understand everything you need to know.
Mm-hmm. They give you the exposition
in just that
you
one
need
scene.
to. The exposition makes sense why they're speaking like that.
But it also you get the idea of like, there's a lot of information there that's conveyed without having to like literally feed it to you.
Yeah. It gives you the sense of time and place as well. Like, this is really just how you should start a horror movie. How you can make a good horror short film. Like, it's all here for that.
Yes.
It is. Part of that, of course, is, I think, the cinematography in the scene, but also the whole movie, is unbelievably great. Like, that's my favorite. The lighting in this, I love lighting in old black and white movies.
It is very,
because you look
the
at
lighting
this,
is very, very cool.
You look at Dracula, you look at Casablanca, when you look at, like, specifically the lighting, it's so, like, you would see just the light go across Boris Karloff's eyes, and it's so fucking incredible. And there's a good reason for it.
It feels illustrative.
Yes.
I feel like
it's like an art piece, which is something we kind of, at times, I'm not one of those people that's a doomerism about movies, but in a lot of, like, bigger budget stuff, they don't, like, the lighting and stuff is kind of made to look realistic, which if that's a style you want to go for it, but, like, movies aren't real, man. You can be fantastical. That's what, the cinematographer for Lord of the Rings, which is also an amazing looking film, someone asked him, it's like, oh, when they were making it, they're like, where's the light coming from in this scene? And he goes, the same place as the soundtrack. It's make-believe. Let's make it all look
made
good.
up.
Yeah. And when it looks good, you're not thinking about why the light's there. You just don't think about that. You're not thinking, why is there a streak of light across someone's eyes only? All you're thinking is, that looks cool.
Because, like, if you have a good enough plot and good enough characters that are engaging,
which this movie doesn't,
you're not gonna be thinking about shit like that.
Yeah. But yeah, so to speak on the visual style, this is directed by a man named Karl Freund. He's directed a few things, but really what he's best known for is his cinematography. He's one of the greatest cinematographers of all time. He did Dracula, which, as I mentioned before, Dracula looks fucking amazing. He did fucking this little sci-fi movie. I don't know if you've heard about it. It's called Metropolis.
Oh.
Yeah. He did, like, the sci-fi movie to end all... Like, he was the cinematographer on that. The movie looks unbelievably great. And then after he got done with, like, doing those things, he got kind of sucked into the world of TV. where he was the cinematographer on the show I Love Lucy, where he created how you shoot TV shows, the multicams, the way it's lit, the live studio, that all came from him. Like, he is such an influential thing.
So he knew what he was doing.
Yeah, and
he was like an expert of the craft.
I think it really does read in this movie because it looks unbelievable. I think this movie is one of the best looking films of all time. It's just kind of devoid of substance.
Yes, and that's the thing with, like, The Mummy 2, is, like, the scares, again, like, it's just kind of like Boris Karloff aura farming.
Like, when it was written, it was meant to be less scary than what they had done before. Like, it's more of an adventure serial than the Gothic horror.
But I don't care about the people that are adventuring.
No. Again, this movie, its biggest failure is
problem.
of its characters.
Yes.
With the exception of Imhotep and, I don't mind Helen. Is that her name?
Helen, yeah. I feel like she just didn't... She has, like, no personality.
I think she's not written to have a personality, but that actress, Zeta Johnson, I think she gives, like, her a little bit of a bite in that. Again, it's, like, not written there. So, yeah, The Mummy. While Ash and I can agree it's not a movie we love, although it does have its merits, as we've touched on here, I think it became one of the most influential Universal horror movies of all time.
I can see that with, like, the cinematography.
But think about the story, right? I think that story winds up going on to inspire stuff like Candyman from 1992.
Yes.
Because you look at how Helen, both the female characters' names are Helen. I don't know if that's, like, an intentional reference, but you look at the scene where Helen and Candyman meets Candyman for the first time, and it reminds me a whole lot of Helen in this one meeting Imhotep for the first time. Like, just being entranced by him. I think when you look at the 90s Dracula movie with Gary Oldman, Bram Stoker's Dracula,
yeah,
I think that's more inspired by The Mummy than it is the original Dracula.
Yes.
Because it's about, like, this forbidden love. You know, it is a reincarnate of the character's love. That's not what really a thing in the original Dracula or the novel.
No.
He's obsessed with Mina because she's the woman there, and Dracula's horny.
Yeah, he's Vlad the Impaler. He's just, like...
Yeah, he is evil incarnate.
And a little freak.
He is a stand-in for desire as a general. That's the reason I love Dracula, actually.
Yes.
But then when you get into Francis Ford Coppola's Bram Stoker's Dracula, it's more of, like, this gothic romance thing that I think comes more so from The Mummy than it does Dracula.
I would agree with that, yes.
And then to finish this all up, The Mummy wound up spawning, like, 8 sequels. Like, there's so many sequels to this movie, including the one with Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee. None of them had Imhotep. It was always a different mummy. But Imhotep would make his return when we get to 1999's The Mummy. Directed by Stephen Sommers. That's our double feature. We are doing The Mummies, baby!
The other mummy.
In 1999, director Stephen Sommers, after many, many failed attempts to remake the original Mummy, bought The Mummy back. Imhotep is back. It is generally the same story, but, like, not really.
They take some liberties with it that I think for the most part kind of work.
Like, the story of Imhotep himself is kind of the same. You know, he was an ancient priest with a forbidden love, who is then mummified, and returns 3,000 years later to wreak havoc and find his lost love, a vessel for his lost love.
Yes, but how his kind of how he's characterized, how he's personified, is very different from Boris Karloff.
Yeah, because Arnold Vosloo is fucking terrifying. This man, he is a presence.
He is.
That was kind of, I guess that's where we'll start, but Arnold Vosloo did not want this character, because this movie's more lighthearted.
Yes.
You know, they allow themselves to have fun with it, and I think it works. This movie has a bunch of, like, comedic relief. You have John Hannah as the brother here. He's fucking amazing in this.
Jonathan.
I think he is good. He's hysterical. You have Kevin O'Connor playing Benji, who I think is pretty funny. So, like, you have more comedic relief. Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz themselves, they got some good, like, comedic bits. But Arnold Vosloo did not want Imhotep to become comedic. And they do not make that motherfucker comedic.
No.
He's
terrifying.
Anytime he pops on screen, you're kind of like, oh, shit's about to go down.
I was actually, like, scared of this mummy, which also is it's a combination of him and the things that he gets to do in this.
Yeah. And some great costume design.
I
love his costume.
With the, like, wide mouth shit, which the effects of that are a little dated, but, like, it's kind of charming.
Yeah, we'll talk about it now.
I find
the effects
charming.
Are dated, but that's 90s CGI. I don't think all of it's bad. I actually think the scarabs look amazing. Like, to
the scarabs look really good. The scarabs are also fucking terrifying.
Yeah, that's one of the notes I wrote. It's just these things are fucking terrifying, is the exact wording I used. So yeah, like, Imhotep in his mummified form isn't a great CGI, but there's some little things there that I think work very well.
I kind of like when he's first mummified. Like, when he's, like, fresh out the fucking coffin.
Yeah, but I don't know if that was CG.
I kind of like that
you
can, like, see through him and shit.
Yeah. Yeah, he's dastardly. He's not just giving British dudes heart attacks.
No, he fucks these people up.
He takes a dude's eyes.
Yes.
He
so leaves him alive.
He's so brutal. You kind of feel bad for some shitty characters.
Yes, he makes me feel bad for people who work for the British Museum.
They don't work for the British Museum. They're Americans. They're doing it for glory. But they have, like, slave labor. They're evil people. It is a bunch of vaguely white dudes doing as brown people still. Like, we haven't gotten past that.
It is. Yes.
Actually,
anyone with agency is played. Most people with agency. I mean, there is
Vosloo himself is South African.
I can acknowledge there's an attempt, but, like, there still is that othering, that mystification, that it's, like, backwards.
Look, we've made progress from 1932, which is a good thing to make progress in 65 years. But there was definitely a way to go.
Baby steps.
However,
for sure.
Man, is this movie a fucking fun time, isn't it?
It is. The action set
some
pieces.
Great and it's just set piece after set piece. They never stop. There's never really a lull.
Incredible.
There's never really a moment where they're like, okay, let's chill out first. No, they're like, let's fucking go. This movie is, like, almost an hour longer than the original, and it feels so much shorter because they are just getting you from spot to spot to spot.
Well, as soon as, like, they enter the temple for the first time, the city of the dead.
It's one of my favorite scenes. When they kick all the mirrors to light up the room, and then the movie's lighting changes. That's super cool.
Yes, that is very cool.
These characters are pretty fucking likable.
They do,
like, even Benji. You're kind of like, you scramp, get out of here. You know, like, you don't hate him.
Yeah,
he's the worst, but you're like, I
have issues with, like, the casting. Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz do have, like, very good chemistry together.
I think this is going to be my biggest disagreement with you, as well as a lot of people that love this movie. Look, I really like this movie. I don't really love Brendan Fraser in it. I'm glad it was him, because I think as a person, he's a great dude. I'm glad he's been able to fight through some demons. He won an Oscar the same year as Ke Huy Quan. Like, that was a day that made me start to tear up. but I don't think he's, like, everyone talks about how great he is in this. I do think him and Rachel Weisz have incredible chemistry, but also to kind of, like, play devil's advocate here, I think anyone could have great chemistry with Rachel Weisz, because look at that woman. I could pretend to be in love with her.
He's the one that they give him the most quips. I feel like Jonathan
gets a lot of the bits.
He does.
And
but he's like, I feel like his are written a lot better than, like, Rick's are kind of, again, like, he has Marvel quips.
Yeah, Brendan Fraser's
that
kind of
final fight with Imhotep, though, he starts to do it, like, a lot, like, back and forth.
That, I think, comes a lot more from, like, 80s horror movies, when the final girl always had to fucking say something before she killed the big bad. God, I don't want to talk too much bad about this movie, so I'll try to make it up by saying a lot of good things about it. I didn't love Rachel Weisz in this movie, which is weird, because I think she's a incredible actress. But just something about her in this, I think in the it's mainly in the beginning when she's a little, like, sheepish. She kind of reminded me of, like, a Wallace and Gromit character. Maybe it's because of her accent, but they then pretty quickly do give her shit to do.
They do.
Like, she's the one with her head on straight there, and that's really cool to see. She's got another one of my favorite lines when Imhotep is taking her away, and she turns to Rick, and she's like, if I get turned into a mummy, you're the first person I'm coming after. That's a hero line. That's a line you would give to, like, someone like Brendan Fraser in that scenario.
She does have it is, like, a major upgrade from Helen in the 1932 movie.
She's given more agency.
Evelyn has, like, a personality.
Yes.
When they have lines where they're, like, kind of going back and forth, they're, like, I kind of like that they have, like, kind of like an opposites thing going on.
Yeah, they both have agents. Like, I said that I didn't love either of their performance, but when they're together, they do have great chemistry, you know?
Yes.
They're not the same character twice. They're not so similarly minded that, like, but they're also not too far different that you're like, how the fuck did these people end up together? Like, them falling for each other makes sense in this. And I think all of this kind of leads me to my thesis on this movie. This is Indiana Jones.
Yeah, it's more of an adventure movie.
This is Indiana Jones meets Universal Horror, and I think it's the second best Indiana Jones movie of all time.
Growing up, I think I kind of wanted, like, Brendan Fraser in this was kind of like gender envy. I wanted to be him really bad, because I don't know what it is. It just, like, I was like, yeah, he's cool, and he's just like a dude. He's awesome.
He's just fucking whipping out guns at any minor inconvenience.
Whips around guns. He always knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he's confident. He's smart.
He fucking shotgun blasts.
Imhotep.
Imhotep, and he's just like, and they're like, the Pharaoh's, he's alive, and
he's like,
we
but
have to kill him.
shot him.
He's like, I got him.
I fucking did that shit already, man. Let's move on. They're like, no, you can't kill him with a shotgun. I was like, it was a big shotgun. I killed him with it. They're like, you really didn't.
He's gone.
He's a very Indiana Jones character, down to, like, the, he's capable, but he's also smart. I think the reason I like Indiana Jones more is because Indiana Jones kind of gets his ass beat a lot, and I always like that more when they're not an ubermensch. Evelyn in this is kind of the Marion, the love interest in Raiders of the Lost Ark. She's she has her own independence. She could probably do the shit without Indy, but, like, they make each other better. Like, it's similar to that relationship. I'm not saying it's like an Indiana Jones movie is a bad thing. I fucking love Indiana Jones so goddamn much that the more good Indiana Jones shit you give me, I'm happy. This is very Indiana Jones in vibe. Cool, good, do more of it.
One of the best things about this movie.
Yes, because Indiana Jones is awesome.
It demands the action set pieces for him to constantly be chasing the characters. And while, like, I never really feel like Brendan Fraser's character is going to, like, die, I am, like, kind of the
You're
idea
worried about
of a
what
lot
they're
of
gonna
these,
lose.
because takes people's souls and he like revives his own life force, but he eats their eyes because that's the window to the soul.
This was intended to be an epic. A lot of iconic directors had given their versions, and for whatever reason it fell through. George Romero, who people would know from like the Dead trilogy, Dawn of the Dead, Night of the Living Dead, like those. He had a version that was more like a zombie-esque movie. Clive Barker turned in a script for it that was not made because apparently it was too like sexual, because it's Clive Barker. That's what Clive Barker does.
Well, yeah. That checks.
I would kill to see that version of it. I wish they made it. Again, I try not to be a film doomerism. There's something for everyone out in this world, and you can find it if you just look hard enough. However, I do kind of miss when these big blockbuster movies were kind of just a good time. A lot of the big, like, budget, blockbuster-type movies, they kind of just don't have much thought put into them now. Robin and I made a joke where it's just Jason Statham doing a job, but he's actually a tough guy. Yeah, I miss when these old blockbusters just had this more fun vibe and were created with this more intense care, you know? Everyone here wanted to
reinterpret this horror character in a visually
different way, and I thought it was like the best way to adapt the Mummy. Do we have any final thoughts on the Mummies?
I like them in general.
I'm glad they exist.
They're fun.
I didn't love the original one, but I'm glad it happened.
Oh, absolutely, and I feel like it was an important step in film history, especially
100%.
horror cinema history.
Some of the most iconic imagery.
I am very excited to see how else people interpret these concepts.
Well, that was actually my kind of final question here. How are the vibes right now around Lee Cronin's Mummy movie? Watching these make you more excited, less excited?
A bit more excited.
Right.
Because I like how these two movies have such different vibes.
Yeah.
They're very different.
And this
movies.
one honestly seems like it is too. It looks darker, which makes sense for Lee Cronin. And it also makes sense coming off the Stephen Sommers Mummy movies. You don't want to go back and just hit those same vibes, so
you don't want to be, especially because again they're coming out with the fourth in the Mummy franchise. You want to do something different.
I think even if this movie winds up not being great, I'm excited to see it. I was excited when they announced it. I think it will be interesting to see how they do this story again. Like, we've got to see how almost society evolves through the lens of a goofy little guy in toilet paper movie. And so I'm excited to see how much more has progressed from 1999. And I am excited to see it. Hopefully by the time we do next episode, I'll be able to get into a movie theater, but I can't guarantee that. So yeah, that has been The Mummies.
They're a fun time.
A good time. Watch Universal horror movies. Watch better ones.
Yes.
Well, thanks for coming and hanging out with us. Talk about some Mummy movies.
Yes, it has been a vibe.
Perhaps too many. I've been KJ Collelo.
I'm Ashton Byrne.
Bella ciao, folks.